Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. If you're new here, a very warm welcome. My name is Emily and this channel is all about life abroad. And right now, because I'm living there, life in Canada and specifically life on the West Coast. So if you enjoy content like that, please don't forget to check out my channel. I post videos every single week and I would love to have you along for the ride. So today I wanted to talk about something that I actually get asked quite a lot, and I wasn't going to make a video about this, but since I've had so many questions about it, I am just gonna go for it because at the end of the day I'm making videos for you guys, not for me. I'm trying to help people who are thinking about moving abroad or moving to the West Coast. So I'm gonna answer your question. And that question is, would I ever move back to the UK? As you may know, I've been living in Canada now for 5 years, which is crazy to me. I'm a permanent resident. Eventually I will go for citizenship. Obviously I talk about homesickness, I spoke about it in my last video, and therefore people tend to ask, like, would you ever move home? Would you ever consider it? Do you think you ever will in the future? And I'm here to tell you that no, I don't ever think about moving home. End of the video, we're done. That's not to say that I would never move back to the UK, because I don't think you can never really say never. But for me right now, I have no plans to move back to the United Kingdom. Obviously I miss it, obviously I get homesick, obviously I wish that I could visit, but do I miss it enough to live there? No. For me personally, I much prefer living in Canada than I ever did living in the United Kingdom. And I just wanted to talk through a few reasons why, because perhaps some of these reasons might resonate with you and perhaps that will help you in your decision to move here or consider moving back home if you're from the United Kingdom, or just, I don't know, be interesting to you. The first reason why I love Canada more than the UK is just the people. And again, this is all my own opinion, and it's not to say that anything is wrong with people in the UK, but from my perspective, I just enjoy Canadians a lot more to be around. I think perhaps that is as a newcomer as well. Canadians are just a lot more open. They're just really friendly. They really are that stereotypical friendly, especially on the West Coast. Perhaps not as much in Toronto, obviously because it's a big city, but on the West Coast, and generally anyone who I've really got to know is just so open and so lovely. And I find that people in the United Kingdom, especially kind of coming away from it and looking back, we are quite cliquey and we do kind of stick strongly to our groups of friends, our established groups of friends. So for example, like if you were invited to a party and then you brought someone with you that perhaps wasn't invited, but you just kind of brought them along like spur of the moment. In the UK, I feel like people wouldn't be as open to it, whereas in Canada, it's almost encouraged and everyone would be happy to see someone new. I just feel like everybody is just a lot more opening and welcoming in Canada. Again, my own opinion, and I am a Brit, so yes, we are reserved, and Canadians are just, they're not really like that. If they say something to you, they genuinely mean it. Perhaps this is just my own experience. Obviously I was a lot younger when I was in the UK, so perhaps it was just that younger mentality, but for me personally, I just feel like Canadians are nicer. Don't hate me. Another reason why I love living in Canada more than the UK is just the abundance of hobbies that people have. I feel like in the United Kingdom, not as many people had hobbies, you know? People like to go out and have dinner and have drinks. There's quite a big binge drinking culture in the UK, you know, going to the pubs and going to the beer gardens, whereas here I feel like people have way more hobbies. Sailing, woodworking, golfing, horseback riding, sewing, photography, videography. There's just so many more things that people do with their time here, I feel like, than in the UK. And again, I was only young in the UK. I left when I was 24, so perhaps that's just my own experience, but from what I can tell, I feel like Canadians do different things with their time and they spend it in different ways, and they're a lot more outdoorsy, they're a lot more active. Not to say that Brits are not active, but I think it's just, it comes with the environment too and the nature that's around. I think way more people in Canada go for hikes and walks and camping trips than they would in the UK. People are just more outdoorsy here, you know. Camping is just a normal everyday, well, maybe not in the wintertime, but it's just a thing that everybody does. It's like not questioned, whereas I feel like in the UK, I don't think I know anybody really who camped for fun. I mean, you do it in school or for your Duke of Edinburgh award, but like for fun. Whereas here in Canada, almost everybody that I know goes camping in the summertime. A lot of people talk about jobs in Canada and job opportunities, and although I can only speak for experience from two different places, from Toronto and Victoria, which often come up as a subject of conversation to say that they don't have as many job opportunities, but for me, in comparison to the UK, I feel like there's way more opportunities in Canada than there is in the UK. And again, I don't know if this is just my own experience. I've worked in 3 different industries and 3 different jobs, so it's not like I can talk to one specific industry. Perhaps it's not the same for everybody, but I have personally found that the job opportunities here are more abundant and it's easier to get your foot in the door than it was in the United Kingdom. I also feel like what you did for your education, specifically where you went to go to university, is not as laser focused on here as it was in the United Kingdom. I feel like in the UK, when you apply for a job, the university that you went to kind of weighs more heavy on your application than it does here. Again, perhaps that's because people over here are not as educated in UK universities as they are with Canadian universities, because I know some Canadian universities are more established and have a better reputation than others, but I just feel like it's not so much what your background education is or where you came from or your family. It's more if you can do a good job and if you have the experience to show, then that is just as important as your educational background. On the flip side, I do feel like it is a lot of who you know in the Canadian job market. Networking is hugely important here. I can't really speak from a lot of experience because I have worked in different industries, but I feel like there's so much drawn more on you as a person as opposed to, again, your educational background. It's more if you have the experience, if you can show that you can do the job and you can do it well, then you're in much higher standing than just saying, oh, I have a degree from Oxford, for example. Another reason that I love living in Canada over the UK, and I'm not sure if you can tell right now, but it's a beautiful day here. The weather is so much better than the United Kingdom. Again, I'm from the north of the UK, so we didn't always get the best weather. I know that London gets a lot better, but I feel like the weather in Canada is just better. I mean, the weather where I am right now is better. But even in Toronto and other places in the country, the summers are way warmer and sunnier than they are in the UK. You can't plan in the UK for outdoor activities, I've found. Like it could rain even in the midst of summer, whereas I feel like in Canada, you can easily plan for outdoor activities. You can plan for barbecues or camping trips or going out on the water sailing because you know it's going to be a nice day. I think that's just because Canada has dry seasons, or at least on the West Coast, we have a dry season. We don't really get rain in the summertime, so it's much easier to plan for outdoor activities, where in the UK you do get rain throughout the year. It's really funny because BC is known for its rain, but here in Victoria we're in something called a rain shadow from the Olympic Mountains, and we actually don't get that much rain. I feel like I'm disclosing an island secret right now, because whenever I hear someone who's not from Victoria talk to Victorians about, oh, it rains so much in BC, they never say anything, and I'm like, what? Victoria gets like 1/3 of the rain that it does in Vancouver. It gets less rain than Toronto and I believe New York City. So it's sunny almost all the time and it's wonderful. That's also why I'd rather live in Victoria than Toronto. The weather, obviously I've spoken about this before, but the weather is so much nicer and there's a lot less bugs here. And reasons to live somewhere are going to be different from person to person, but these are just my own personal reasons, and there are a lot of those, but if I continue, this video is going to be hours and hours long, so I'm not going to do that. And obviously I do miss the UK. It's always going to be my home, no matter how long I live in Canada, whether I do stay here forever, whether I move on and move somewhere else, or I eventually do come back to the United Kingdom. It's always going to be my home, but for me personally, I just feel like a happier person in Canada. I think it's just the most wonderful country that I have ever been to. Obviously, I love to travel and I have many destinations that I love and lots of destinations that I would love to live too, but I just feel like for me as a person, Canada ticks every single box that I would have. It has the beauty of nature, opportunities, nice people, good weather, travel is super easy. The one thing that I do wish was different about Canada is cost of living. I think that's probably the one thing that it has on the downside, but I also find that I get a better quality of life here. So for me, I'd rather pay more for a better quality of life than pay less and be unhappier. So this was a little bit of a ramble, but hopefully it gave you a little bit of an insight into my own thoughts and why I love Canada and why I can't foresee myself moving back to the UK anytime soon. If you are planning on moving to Canada, if you're planning on moving to the West Coast, please let me know. Send me a message on Instagram or a comment below. I love to hear your stories. I know a few of you have reached out, and honestly, when I say it makes my day, that is a absolutely massive understatement. I just love to hear from you. So if you do have thoughts or questions, please let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, if you got anything out of it, please don't forget to hit like. Check out my channel and subscribe if you want to. I post videos every single week and I'd love to have you along for the ride. Until my next one, I hope you have the most wonderful day and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.